If you had a job where you come to work and people clap for you, it would change your entire mood.
Don't this hit make my people wanna jump? Don't this hit make my people wanna jump? Don't this hit make my people wanna jump?
Watch the series finale of X-Men next Saturday morning. Check your local listings.
It won't take long when there's a song to help you set the pace.
It's just pathetic. Where we used to live. Why did you keep the mousetrap?
Life could be worse.
This is the worst. This is the worst. This is the worst. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime gal. Send me a kiss, my wine. Baby, my heart's on fire.
And the Disney stock just keeps going down and down and down.
I'm bag of pixie dust. Contraband.
They're going to do the Mary Poppins thing. They're going to do it. They're going to do it.
Yeah.
Magic mirror on the wall. The fairest one of all.
Oh, bitch, you killed Kenny.
Kenny.
You fat hoe.
I get it. I'm not persecuted. I'm just an ass.
If you haven't subscribed to Lorena yet and you're watching this, you suck.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to my channel. I'm Reina Creole, and of course, I'm always bringing you that spice on my channel, which is why we have the Spice Lounge, where we give you those spicy takes and hot conversation when it comes to pop culture out there today, and it never fails. As soon as I have the thumbnail set up and ready to go, and I put it out there, a story just drops into my lap. And of course, that would be Anthony Mackie putting his foot in his mouth with regards to what Captain America means to him. So we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about a little bit of backtracking that he may have done. So we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about the fact that Disney just cannot seem to hold on to a writer for the Star Wars movie they keep trying to make happen. They need to stop making fetch happen, but no, they figure they can fix it, right? And speaking of trying to fix things, Disney is not too keen on letting go with that whole DEI scam, shakedown, marching orders that they have going on. So we're going to talk about that. And of course, we are going to talk about hot topics. So pull on up, get yourself your libation of choice, and we are ready to rock. So speaking of getting ready to rock, I'm going to bring in one of my co-stars on the show, which is Erica from Hanging with Erica and Rock over there on YouTube or here on YouTube. How you doing, my dear?
I'm doing good. We're doing some redecorating.
I see. I'm loving that wallpaper. Oh my gosh.
Welcome to my dark side.
I love that Haunted Mansion wallpaper. There is something just so, I mean, jacquard patterns are classy to begin with, first of all. But to have it, and it's in the Haunted Mansion, and it's just this it just gives me vibes of just decadent opulence and that it goes in a disrespect. I love that pattern. I love it. Absolutely love it. So I'm loving what
Amazon.
you're doing.
Amazon.
Okay. See, figures Amazon. Where we get all our stuff,
Took me
folks.
a while to land the right pattern, but this was as close as I could get. And yeah, it is very nice wallpaper.
I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Love it. And I love the fact that there are 61 of you folks in here already, in between YouTube and in between over there on X. If you're over there on X, please do be sure to start this post over there on X. And if you're watching this over on YouTube, please do make sure you hit that like button and make sure that you are subscribed to this wonderful, wonderful community that I'm so blessed to share with all of you. Let's run through here, see who we have in the chat before we get all the delicious spices. Delicious. I'll be glad when I'm done Invisalign because I swear I knew how to talk. Now I've got a piece of plastic and it's so hard talking over it. DJ Knight is here. Good to see you. This is guys. Hello, hello, hello. Of course, Erica is there. One of my amazing moms. I could not do this show without you, mods. So I freaking love you. If I forget to say, I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Trust me. Especially as this channel continues to grow. I'm really really gonna need you guys. Teresa's here. Hello, my dear. Good to see you. Good to see you. We've got Emily Kruger here in the chat. Oh, hail, hi, and hello. Good to see you, my dear. We have got Braylon Lee. It says, hey, good people. Hey, Braylon, good to see you, my dear. Good to see you. And we've got Dylan Soup in the chat. Hey, Lorena, sup, chat? Sup, chat? Good to see you. We have got Goof R35 in the chat. It says, hey there, and I'm loving that avatar. It's when I'm like in the parks, I can see people's avatars, but not really. But when I'm here in the studio and I have, the monitors, I can see like people's avatars. So yeah, I love doing that.
8 avatars right now. To do like the moving, talking ones. I'm fascinated by that. So I'm teaching myself how to do it. And it is very time consuming for an illiterate person like me.
The motion capture, like the VTuber.
Yes, I'm so
Thing.
fascinated by that. So I'm just having fun with it, just very slowly learning.
We may have to learn together because I thought about doing that. I'm like, oh, what's the big appeal? And then I went to the holiday matsuri that they had, and they literally had a whole section with nothing but VTubers. And I was just like, okay, in person, this looks pretty darn cool. So you may have to teach me after you find out
I'll do my best.
how to get that going. Hey, Amanda says, hello, lovely Lorena, practically perfect panel and cheery chat. How is everyone? Doing good, doing lovely, amazing. Glad to be here. And I'm trying to ignore the smell of some garlic Creole. Well, one part is Creole, the other part is mojo Criollo, grilled salmon. Yeah, it's like yeah, I like both. So the smell is
I
like,
don't like seafood,
you
but I
can't
mean,
eat.
you have me garlic mojo,
I found out that even if people do not like fish, if you put enough of a seasoned kick on the top, people will eat it. Like I cannot eat plain fish. It's just like, what the heck is that? Except for red snapper because it's so delicate. But fish in general, I'm just like, I can't eat naked fish. I can't do that. So the salmon that works. Yes, that's yet another recipe that'll be coming to my cooking channel. It's quick, it's economical, and hey, you have extras left over to put on your salad of choice. The the next day, which is one of my favorite things to do with it. After this little outburst, Mackie can now be known as a Democrat Tweety Bird. Well, we are going to talk about that. I've got a little bit of insight to give you when it comes to actors when they're overseas and forget that common courtesy of there's two things you don't do when you're in a foreign country. One, talk badly about your host country. Two, talk ish about your country. You do not freaking do that. Okay. I would think that it was common sense, but like my grandma says, common sense ain't always common. And yeah. But actors are weird. We're going to talk about that a little bit. Hey, Abu Nas says, okay, I'm getting into my seat to listen to the juicy gossip right now. Get my popcorn. My producer is looking so good tonight. Oh, thank you, my dear. Thank you so much. So much. Abu Nas, man, you got to get his album Security Concepts. Got to listen to that, especially if you are a fan of hip hop, not mumble rap. Hip hop, the good stuff. The good stuff. I mean, maybe it's just me, or maybe it's just the experience that I had. But when I was growing up, it didn't matter like what color you were or whatever. If you were banging hip hop, that was the conversation starter right there. Like everybody in that particular group was like was like into it. So that's I miss those days. And I miss that kind of creativity too. Hey, Terry Rose says, hello, friends. Well, hello to you. We have got Fire Dragon in the chat as well this afternoon. Oh, love that pink dragon smoke. And we got Brogu says, hey, Lorena, what you doing? What you doing? Talking on the TV? And so glad you're here. Oh, that sounds like it smells great. Good luck with ignoring that delicious smell. It's tough. It's so hard. It's so hard. See, that just teaches me I should have done that earlier. Simon Pegg never learned his lesson. What did I miss with Simon Pegg? Y'all tell me. Terry Rose, I need context. Let's see. Even if he didn't mean to, it was still a very, very big dumb, and this movie is already strong. Yeah. We're gonna talk about that. And why even if he didn't, it was very much an unforced error that could have been easily answered. And what I think, which is what happens to a good amount of actors, and I've witnessed in real time when they are overseas and they get on stage, it's all about them. And I really think when it comes down to it, that's what this moment was all about. Even though he had been asked the question, it was all about him. We're going to talk about that. Christian Sanchez says, what was the best gift you've ever gotten? Well, aside from salvation through Jesus Christ, the best gift that I ever got, I would say, like my daughter doing like a portrait of me. I just thought that was so cool. So cool. Something you could never buy. And I love that. I thought that was great. But hey, best gift for me is always money. I'm not kidding.
Who doesn't like shopping?
Money and gift cards. You don't know what to get me, get gift cards. Because like, I get money. So yeah, that's what I do. Oh, you're welcome, my dear. Anytime. I'm proud of you about that album. Hey, Tom. Hey, Tom. Good to you. What you doing? I see the little doggos there. Love the little doggos. Reina Creole, looking forward to the meetup. Oh, I'm glad that you brought that up because just to remind all of you, if you're going to be in town for MegaCon, February, I think that's like February 7th through the 9th, Saturday, February 8th at 10:30, I'm having a meetup for the channel at Disney Springs, specifically the Everglazed Donuts shop. Florida business, local business, so many disrespectful donuts. Their coffee drinks are amazing. You can get souvenir cups, all that stuff. They've got a great amount of outdoor space with some artificial turf and picnic benches. So that's picnic tables. So that's where we're going to meet at 10:30. Hang around, meet your fellow channel viewers, and we're just gonna have a good time, just chilling. This will be the second time that we've done this. So
And those donuts are delicious, by the way. And they are huge. Like that is diabetes in a box. Be prepared.
It is. I warn you folks up front, that's exactly what it is. And I will ask you, which donut did you get and why? And you know what? There's some people who they go back and get more than one donut. I'm just saying.
I got half a dozen when we went. No, or did I get a dozen?
It's so good.
No, I
It's
think
so
I got
good.
a dozen.
I've
But
never
they were all good. I
gotten
couldn't tell you which one I liked. The s'mores one was pretty freaking good.
I don't know which one I got, but it was a lot of cream on it. That's I think it was a key lime. I don't know. But there's so many. I think that's the Fruity Pebbles one in the second row to the right, and the Fruit Loops one on the top left. But they probably don't call it Fruit Loops because copyright. Why they don't call it that. But yes, Disney Springs parking is free, which is one of the reasons why I like going there. So again, parking is free. Can't wait to see you guys there so we can all meet up and just chew the fat. Let's see. And the Major says Iger needs to pull the plug on both Star Wars and Marvel. Yeah, he needs to, but the Weatherman, they're not going to do it. They're still not going to do it. Broker says, I don't know what Mackie did, but don't blame all of us for that if you know what I mean. People love to generalize us. And I get where you're coming from. You've got some folks where that's where they go. But I will say that on a larger level, us means all of us here in the US. So I get you. We're going to step through that because I'm going to kind of give you guys some information so you don't inadvertently step in it. You don't mean to, but so you don't inadvertently step in it. So that's why I'm here for you. We're going to go through that. Hey, Chef Nation, good to see you. Good to see you and Little Chef. Good to see you guys. Bloodline Josh Perry. Hi, good evening to you too. Good seeing you. And yes, those donuts are disrespectful as hell. They are. They just Black Superwoman. You saw them the first time we went there. It's nothing but disrespect there. Nothing. Is there a prize for all the not for all the donuts, but I'll have a couple of prizes to give away while we're there. Can't go wrong with a classic Boston cream. No, you cannot. That good? Boston
That's
cream.
my go-to.
Delicious. So speaking of delicious, over 106 of you folks here watching. Surely do appreciate that. Let's get started with our hot topic. So our first hot topic, and dang it, I really thought I had myself together. Okay. No, that's not it. Okay. Oh, there's a red dot. Okay, here we go. Boom. I had to say this. Apparently, there was a new TV spot for the new Superman movie that came out. And I guess someone did a freeze frame on this part. And my question was, what's wrong with his face? It's a CGI that bad? What the? Can you tell Willie's where he's looking? Because I can't.
He's looking above the camera.
I guess. I don't know. It looks weird. But then again, if you've ever taken any pictures of people or video and you've paused it in a spot, you can sometimes get one that looks kind of like what the heck is going on here? But apparently, yes,
There you go. I'll go with that.
You know I'm gonna be pissed. Yes, see, I've never seen a bad picture of Henry Cavill. I'm just saying.
Right?
I'm just saying. I've never seen a bad one, ever. Even when he looked like hot garbage. No, I haven't seen one like this.
Still hot.
Yeah. It's the fishbowl face. It is. So it makes me wonder for something with the camera. But from what I understand, is that so this is from Forbes article from Eric Kane. So apparently, somebody pinged him up on X. Blue Tattoo says looks dope. Great camera angle of Superman flying, except there's something with his face that looks a little off. I know there's plenty of time to refine the CGI. James Gunn says there's absolutely zero CG in a space. People's faces can look different when you put a wide angle lens up close. The background plate in Svalbard is 100% real, as is David. So I get it. That's true.
Look like he rolled out of bed. He's just got that rolled out of bed look in that frame.
Mm-hmm. And that one. But yeah, I look at this picture and dude looks like a character straight out of SpongeBob SquarePants. I'm so not kidding.
Not Superman's best look. Let's put it that way.
No, it don't look right. It don't look right. Yes, I heard Henry Cavill became a dad. So congrats to him. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Well,
he and his girlfriend he had a little boy. So I was really, really happy for them. Really happy for them. Let's say Superman is looking at the Spider-Man's. Hang on. We're gonna get a third opinion about this. More friends. Hey Ron, how you doing?
Sorry, I am late. I thought I was early because I saw the post and my wife was using my studio, which I thought was okay because I thought we were 8.
That was my fault. I'm like, I did what? That's why I said, hey, if you come a little late, that's my fault. So.
Okay, so we're weighing in on this the Superman scene though, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
okay.
this look right here.
Okay, so I have to show you guys something because you haven't seen the clip that I've seen from the movie. I know everybody's seen this clip, but I got a sneak peek. All right. And so a lot of people haven't seen this, but do you remember that scene in Superman 1 where Clark he's just come back from flying Lois, right? And they land on the top of the building, and it was Clark that had a date with Lois. So he goes around. She's like in this awe space in her head, like wow, she just flew with Superman. And dorky boyfriend, co-worker, not even boyfriend, Clark Kent knocks on her door, and he's like, "We have a date. Are you ready?" And then he thinks about for a second revealing his identity to her. Remember that scene? And he pulls off his glasses. He says, "Yep, Lois. I'm really right." Okay, so they did something similar in this movie, and I can't. I'm not allowed to show it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my impersonation of it. Okay, you guys ready? Okay.
Yeah.
Lois, I'm really super fan.
Oh my god. The memes, y'all. If Ron clown that, just wait for the memes to come for this. But yeah, that is his face. Sometimes the camera angles can, distort stuff, but okay, James, we'll take your we'll take at your word for
If
that.
you use Grok at all or tried Grok to make
Yes.
pictures, and I'm telling you, this is exactly how some of them look, where you're like, why are the eyes so weird?
It's like, where is he looking? Is he looking at you or is he looking at me? I don't know who he's looking at.
Like this really feels like a bad AI created CGI PlayStation 2 1998 kind of I don't know. It's not giving off the vibes that make me want to go see this movie. Not to mention the fact that I just feel like he just does not, as many different Superman iterations that we've had now, live action, we've had a lot, right? We've had a ton of, from Kirk Allen all the way to Henry Cavill and what's the gentleman who's got the big Tyler? Is that his name?
Tyler Hodgson. Yeah.
Tyler, and he's got the big beard now. Okay, when you go see him in real life, I mean, like this guy just doesn't. I don't know. He just looks like some kid you'd run into in high school.
Fish Island, Steel Fan. Yeah, Thanatos, you got it. I think that's what it is. It's just a weird lens or something like that. But we'll see. I mean, again, he's not Cavill. And I'm not sure you can sell me on the fact that one of the jerky guys in Twisters is Superman. So, but what is super? Ruby Hoove gifted one follow the Bradleys fun membership. So thank you so very much.
I didn't even see that. Thank you.
Well, if you got gifted, make sure you thank Ruby Hoove. Hey, Native Hawaiian says hello, aloha, and good evening, y'all. Oh wait, aloha. And good evening. Yes. Lorena says that Superman doesn't have laser eyes. He has lazy eyes. And aren't they fighting each other in the sea? That's why I said, is he looking at you? Is he looking at me? I don't know, because he's looking at me.
I'm looking for a friend. He's looking for you. He's looking for me.
Chef Nation, Marvel Rivals is saving the MCU's bacon right now in so many ways. So much so, I think if you play Marvel Rivals, you get it's some kind of tie-in with the new with Captain America 4. No one would give a crap about it, but lots of folks are playing
you mean Captain I'm so not American.
Captain who's it's like, dude, Captain America, you do know what that means. But again, we're gonna talk about that. Hey, later. Nita says, hey, I can now see woo, and I have heat now. LOL. So glad to hear it, my dear. So glad to hear it. I hope you're doing so good. I'm so glad to hear that, Nita. So glad to hear that. And so good to see you. So good to see you. I'm 200 hours into that game. Yeah, I was going to start playing Marvel Rivals until my AIO pump for my gaming rig just died. I don't know what the heck happened, but I had to ship it back to NZXT. So they have it. They're supposed to be shipping me out a new one. And while I love my mini PC here to stream on, after you gamed on a rig with a separate GPU graphics card, you are spoiled for life. Man, I was playing Infinity Nikki, and that sucker just went out on me. It was a mess. But anyway, next one. I think this is what would I call it? I would call it narcissistic celebrity. So here from TMZ, And TMZ used to be much better when they just reported on celebrity trash articles instead of political commentary. Alec Baldwin and Hilaria reveal emotional toll of Rust trial in show's first look. So they have actually landed a freaking reality show.
What's a Rust trial? I've never heard that.
The movie Rust, where he shot somebody.
And they died.
Oh, okay, that.
Yeah, but that's a good
He was
point.
divorced, or is he remarried?
Oh, he remarried because he used to be married to correct me if I'm wrong. I believe he used to be married to Kim Basinger.
Basinger, yeah. I didn't know he had remarried. So I'm
And
like,
he
I don't
had
follow these people.
called one day. I remember this because I forget which trash TV show it was on, but I loved it. He had like called who the heck was it? It was he had called his daughter and was calling her like a little pig and it was nasty.
Oh, I remember that phone call.
What?
And not even funny like Mel Gibson calling somebody sugar tits.
Oh,
like it's like I can't believe he is talking about his own daughter like
that was bad. That was bad. How many years ago was that? That was because I remember that being somewhere in the same time vicinity in my head as the Christian Bale Terminator rant. It just feels like that was I don't know, like some. I mean, now the past is the past, so it all feels jumbled together because I'm old. But do you remember that Christian Bale rant where he was like, "You still," it went off on like a gaffer or something on the set?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because people were memeing that too when that happened. Yeah, I don't remember exactly when, but I know their daughter has to be like in her 20s or something like that, early 20s. So this is the second wife. Yeah, he called his daughter a pig. When he said that, I was just like, you are freaking garbage. Okay, you really are. He tried to blame it on his alcoholism, but no, alcohol is a freaking truth serum. You said what was in your heart when that happened.
Oh, yeah.
And yes, Hilaria, aka Hillary Lynn Hayward Thomas from Boston, Massachusetts. Get the heck out of here. But yeah. So now they have a reality show, believe it or not, with the second family. So the family with the trophy wife. I can say that because I was one at one particular time. And these are like all the kids. So they're talking about they had their their bad moments and we're all here together. And so it's called the Baldwins, which is going to be on TLC. I'm guessing 90 Day Fiance. Well, 90 Day Fiance used to be fun trash. Now the people are boring on that. So I'm guessing this is why they're putting this show on, and two, to try to, I don't
Humanize
know,
him?
try to humanize him. But I'm like, no. There's no way to like humanize this.
Are we going to
dude.
get? Are we going to get visits from his very conservative Christian brothers? I think that that would make for good TV.
That would make for some good TV. But something tells me
I would honestly love to know how they get along as family when they clearly have different ideologies that they live by. Because I mean that's my family too, honestly.
It may be we get together for the requisite 1 point of collective contact, or if we are in contact, it's don't make an ass of yourself in front of the kids, kind of thing. There's some families where it's like you need to have that come to Jesus meeting before they show up. The ones where it's just like don't just drop in. Just don't do that. Don't do that at all. How are they allowing a white woman to cosplay? Because some people do not want to call a spade a spade. It's kind of like who was it? I'm trying to forget who it was. Somebody who I knew. I think they were No, they weren't with the Osage. No. Yeah, they were Colombian, right? And they're like, no, I'm not white. I'm Colombian. I'm like, well, according to the census of one of my ancestors, y'all Spaniards were white. What do you think Blanco means? I'm just saying.
Not
No,
wrong.
know what I mean? I can pull up the Spanish census of 1783 from
Mhm.
St. Augustine, and you can see the race of the quote unquote race of my Floridano Spaniard born fifth great grandfather, Blanco.
El
His,
Whito.
yes, Blanco. His wife, well, okay, well, the legal wife was white. The common law wife was a free mulatta of color. She was mulatto. Okay.
Mm.
Yeah. And her kids, well, yeah, that's what they were listed as too. They definitely were not white. Those were not. Those kids, they weren't white, but the ones he had with his white wife were declared to be white. But it's interesting. They all got along. Just saying. Just saying. Just saying. We'll be right after Sister Wild. You know, TLC used to have some really, really funny, like trash TV, but they don't anymore. Yeah, Deb, he does. That we just put the picture up. He's got a bunch of with the old with the new wife. That's what I tell people. I'm just like, one of the things with research in my family, it's very interesting how race has been defined, so to speak. So I find it very, very interesting when I see a lot of like Latinos who look obviously white. My brother-in-law is the whitest Puerto Rican I've ever met in my life. He's got blonde hair and blue eyes. And I'm just like, what do you mean you mean you're Puerto Rican? But he actually is. But someone's just like, okay, well,
I know a
in
lot
your
of
country,
really
you're basically white. You look on the census and that's what it says. It's like, oh, okay, in that particular social structure, yes.
I know a
White. So
lot of
I
white
don't
Puerto
know.
Ricans.
I don't know.
Also, Erica is quite white, but she's Hispanic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's
Yeah, we
Cuban.
come in all colors.
Yeah.
I got
Indeed.
we have a Cuban cousin down in Miami. She's blonde hair, brown eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yep.
We do tan nice though.
It's like
I
it blew my mind when you had like some not Dominican, but yeah, we had a lot of Dominican baseball players. So we had a couple of them come from Cuba. And I'm like watching the television and I asked my dad, I was just like, I thought Cubans were white.
No,
Because
Raph is half Panamanian, half Puerto Rican.
Mhm.
And my mother-in-law from Panama, she's very white skinned.
So it's just like you know, you don't know. But you know what? Just be who you're supposed to be. Shoot.
Yeah. We're a box of chocolates.
You
You
know?
just don't know what you're gonna get.
I always hated that line in Forrest Gump. I always wanted him to say, Mom always said life's like a box of chocolates. If you look at that little map underneath the lid, you know exactly what you're going to get. Look at the map. It's on the bottom of the lid, people.
I know, even with my nieces, you know, when it's like she has freckles, she's got, caramel skin, she's got freckles, she's got, very textured, light brown hair. Her sister is much more fair skinned and has like almost close to like straight hair. So
it's one of the reasons, all of that is one of the reasons I do not like DEI, because that is so very, very superficial when it comes to skin color. Like there are so many different skin colors that are not at all race defining. And it's such a ridiculous thing. It's also something that I'm a consider myself a bland, boring white guy, and I love all of the various skin colors and types and different. I love to see skin with, darker skin with freckles, and it's just like it's our variety that makes us great as human beings, but not just the way we look, but also the way we think. One of the reasons I don't like DEI is none of that is based on diversity of thought. And when you really want to build a good coalition of people that can serve the general public, you need a coalition of thought. You need all of that, people coming with different ideas coming from over here and over here and over here, and go, okay, you put something out to the public, and it's like, wow, this is really cool. We kind of covered the whole gamut.
Well, we are going to talk about DEI because with me being a product of corporate America, we're gonna talk about the stuff that I've seen. But speaking of that, now before I get into this, because I'm going to come at this probably from an angle that some people aren't really aware of. So here from that Park Place, courtesy of Marvin Montanaro, editor-in-chief, Japanese YouTuber claims video criticizing Assassin's Creed Shadows gameplay struck down 12 times for hate speech. First of all, people who follow me on X know that I have consistently said that it is a damn disgrace that Ubisoft is trying to do like the Jedi mind trick with people and saying, oh yes, a historical figure, Yasuke was a black samurai. I'm like, where's the proof for that? And I had some folks get mad at me who said, oh, he's a samurai. I said, no, he's not. What proof do you have that he was one? What peer-reviewed evidence? And by peer-reviewed, I'm not talking about the Guy Jean professor from, I think, was he England? I think so. I think he was from England. Either way, him putting together some kind of fan fiction to say that. I said, no, I want to see independent sources, Japanese historians. They all come to the same conclusion and it all matches up with historical reference. That's what I want to see. Do you have that? And it's just, well, we should be able to have that. I'm like, look, Black people do not need to be in everything. All right, they do not. And one of the other reasons why it gets on my nerves is because when I was a kid you not, in first grade, I remember this, and you start learning about other countries, each kid in the class had to present something from another country. I don't know why Hawaii was considered another country. I was pissed that I didn't get to do the hula song. I didn't get to sing Lovely Hula Hands. I was pissed about that. But I was given the assignment of Japan. My first grade teacher had gone to Japan. That was like her favorite country. So she gave that one to me. So I learned about Japan, and there was actually a kid in my class who was Japanese. I was excited to learn about all this stuff. And there's the traditional Japanese song, Sakura. I learned that in first grade, and I still remember the melody. I remember the words, even though I kind of pronounced some of them a little like off or whatever. But that was something that I remember. And Japanese culture is something that I've always been interested. I've always been impressed with, especially with the gear that would come out of that dang country. My goodness. It's like, I loved it. It's one of those things. So that's why it really pisses me off when you have a company like Ubisoft try to push some kind of revisionist history, and even more so when the people who come from that particular culture are telling you that you're effing up, and it's just like, no, I don't hear you. I don't hear you. It's ridiculous, and no wonder Ubisoft is like in the trash. This guy has every reason. And it wasn't like he was being disrespectful or anything like that. So to say this here, Ubisoft Assassin's Creed Shadows has been under fire for months. That's true. I may actually buy that game just to play it and laugh. But the controversy has now escalated into censorship allegations. Japanese YouTuber Shohei Kondo, and I've seen some of his videos, had his gameplay critique of Assassin's Creed Shadows removed from YouTube and reported 12 times, with hate speech cited as the reason for the takedown. What do the both of you think when you hear something like this?
It's odd. It's so, I don't know. It's like, I don't know. It's really, really weird because it seems to me, and I could be wrong, but it seems to me that you could dump on white people all day long and never have your thing taken down for hate speech. If we were to equivocate hate speech across the board, right? It's not, because somebody has to decide, oh, I think this is hate speech, and oh, I think this is not, right? But if it were, then perhaps all of the criticisms, the recent criticisms, wrong criticisms, by the way, of Elon Musk that was making an I love you gesture to the audience that was mistaken for some other gesture, perhaps all of those criticisms that have been given on YouTube a lot would be noted as hate speech against a white person, simply because that person's white and doesn't maybe think the way that you do. And so he's just thinking, hey, I love you, audience. And he's sending out his heart to the audience and is so kind and so nice and so loving. And you're turning around and you're calling it something that's not, is very, very hateful. So I've decided that you're committing hate speech. But it doesn't happen that way now, does it? Isn't that weird? Weird.
Erica, your thoughts?
I just, in general terms, people just really need to get over themselves and accept the fact that opinions are like assholes. Everyone has one, and get over it. I mean, you're never going to please everyone when you're putting out a product, and there are some products that are objectively just not good. And, there's a difference between, just trashing someone and being constructive criticism, where you're not being rude and you're not being slanderous, and it's just sad that people don't know the difference, or they know the difference, they just don't care, and they just want to be bullies, and they want to be right, and they're narcissists. Like, I'm sorry. And I feel for this guy, but at the same time, Ubisoft, like, the damage is done. They've done it to themselves, and I don't feel sorry for them. From my understanding, their business is tanking and tanking fast. And if they go under, well, that's kind of what you get. There's a reason why the country overwhelmingly voted for Trump. We are sick and tired of a different version of this kind of behavior and trash. The American people saw through it. They didn't like it, and we voted accordingly. So pull your head out of your ass and get clued into reality like the rest of us.
Exactly. And it's not hate speech when someone does not agree with your point of view.
No, like I'm thinking about this in terms of us and what we do. Especially you and I have both worked on this same thing together. It would almost be like your videos criticizing Tiana's Bayou Adventure getting struck down for hate speech by, that's it's the same type of a thing, because you I know are very critical of people that come in and criticize Song of the South, because you understand the full history of it, and you're not when you present that, you don't present a slanted view, you present a full view of it. Whereas other people come in to criticize Song of the South, and they come in with a bias, like predisposed to a certain bias with their criticisms of it. And me, technically, I have no skin in the game in that one, so to speak. Pardon the pun, but it's just it's so ridiculous because that somebody somewhere had to make a decision on this. All I can say is I don't know if Google is kind of on board with the recent change, if you will, that Mark Zuckerberg has gone through, and talking about Facebook and removing fact checkers and all of that kind of stuff. But I think that it would be very helpful to Google to get on board with just generally accepting free speech. I know we saw so much of this types of censorship during the 2020 era, and I think that there were a lot of really good documentaries out there that I watched, and then after 1 million views, YouTube would claim them, and then they'd go away. And I'm like, how do I find this again? It's good because as an American, and maybe it's different in the rest of the world, but as a American, I consider myself free to be able to choose for myself what I think of the material once it's presented to me. I mean, I don't think of everything that I watch being the gospel truth, no matter what it is. Doesn't matter where it comes from, left, right, center. I don't take it in as the gospel truth. I take it in, I digest it, I mull over it, and then I make a decision based on a lot of various different information, what I think is the truth. And I think a lot of Americans, we do that. And what they're trying to say when they censor anybody is they're saying, oh, you Americans or whoever's watching this, you're too dumb to know what the truth is, so we're going to decide for you. And that's so bothersome. And regardless of it, whether it's this, whether it's games, doesn't matter what it is, it's just annoying.
And you have to keep pushing back on that. And two things before I move away from this. Two things that I want to say, and I'll say this. If it don't apply to you, please don't go in the comments being butthurt about it. Okay. Number one, I would have given Ubisoft a lot more credit if they would have just kept their mouth shut and dropped the game. Like all they said is, we have these options for you to choose from, like with Mortal Kombat, choose your fighter. Everyone knows that, right? Choose your fighter. Put the game out. Let people decide if it's worth it, or not. But the fact that you harp on this whole thing, the marketing for this whole thing is based on two things. You've got a female Japanese assassin. I can ride with that. But then you have this quote unquote black samurai. And not that it's a fictional character, like, wow, how did he wind up getting that type of rank? That would have been different. But Ubisoft is marketing on outrage, and it's coming back to bite them in the ass. The second thing is, and the people who know who I'm talking to will know I'm talking to them. Just because some idiots at Ubisoft made Yasuke a black samurai does not mean black people in general are happy with that, or to blame for that. The person to blame for that is, from what I understand, two white guys at Ubisoft. They are who to blame for that. And the reason why I say that is when you have these discussions, keep that in mind when you talk about that.
Wait. Are you saying that the picture that you're showing there is supposed to be a depiction of a black samurai?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man, I got to get my glasses checked. I thought that was Tom Cruise, because I thought Tom Cruise was the last samurai.
I thought so too, so I'm not upset. I'm really not upset, okay? Not upset at all.
Wait, so
Not
like
upset.
here's a question. Is it now considered racist if you're like like you're pretending to be in some type of a Asian fight and you're like and you're making those sounds. I'm a white guy. I make those sounds because that's what I've heard all my whole life in the past. Am I being racist or something? Or like I'm just because I'm not trying to be.
If
I'm not
you
trying to be.
are, a whole lot of black people are going to be racist too, including Jim Kelly, who was in Enter the Dragon. So it's also silly.
Wait. What about the Shogun of Harlem? Show enough. Remember?
What's my name?
Show
Am I the
enough.
meanest? Okay, yeah, that's a daggone classic.
Come on, the last. Oh man.
God, the Last Dragon was freaking awesome. It was. Oh my gosh, I gotta have a watch party with that movie.
What was her name? I want to say V something with the hair.
Vanity.
Was that?
Yeah,
Oh my god.
Yeah, that was Vanity.
I'm telling you, the Vanity and Apollonia days. Oh, I mean, I watched Purple Rain a lot back in the day for that kind of stuff. And I'm like, of course, I grew up in St. Louis. St. Louis is pretty eclectic city. So nobody cared. It bothers me that we have conversations today that I thought we resolved 40 years ago. Because when I grew up, I don't care if it could have been J-Lo or Jen Jackson or Vanity or Apollonia or, Debbie Gibson. I didn't care. I was, as a teenage guy, I was like, from Tiffany and Debbie Gibson to Vanity and Apollonia, I'm good with it,
I just think you had a group of people who took it upon themselves to be offended on a group of people that never asked them to be in the first place.
I guess.
And that's the crux of it right there. And folks who bought into the idea that you're supposed to sit down and shut up and let it happen, or else you're an ist and a phobe or whatever. That's pretty much the crux of where that is. But speaking of this, and yeah, you're so right. Today's kids are offended by anything and everything, which is why I have so much fun making young software developers cry. But anyway, y'all didn't hear me say that. Y'all didn't hear me say it. Anyway, getting back to the meat of this now. Again, I was mainly going to talk about, and we'll get to this, about Star Wars, the Star Wars movie getting yet another writer. They are going through writers like people should change their underwear every day. Just going to talk about that. And in a way, we kind of are. But Anthony Mackie is the gift that just keeps on giving. And that gift is going to be basically nuking the box office, I think, for Captain America Brave New World. Now, this thing has already gone through, I don't know how many reshoots. How much? 4? Yeah, like 4 reshoots. I don't know how many millions in the hole this movie is in. And there is zero hype for this movie. Zero hype. And they keep trying to make it hype. They're putting Harrison Ford in it. Of course, they put Giancarlo Esposito in it as Sidewinder. I do love Giancarlo Esposito. I will, I am going to go and see him. But it doesn't help when your lead actors do not know either how to keep their mouth shut or how to seriously control what they say or think about what they say when they are in a foreign country, realizing that sometimes for some people asking a question, English is not their first language, so they may have something different in their head, but trying to put it into English as well as possible. And usually when that happens and somebody asks me a question, sometimes I'll ask a clarifying question so I can make sure that I'm on the same, the same page as them. But apparently Anthony Mackie was over in Italy doing some press for the film. And here's the quote. But I like to show people in their
For
in
me,
their
Captain
own
America
words.
represents a lot of different things, and I don't think the term, America should be one of those representations. Like, it's about a man who keeps his word, who has honor, dignity, and integrity, someone who is trustworthy and dependable. It's kind of, this is kind of like an aspect of a dream coming true,
and that's when he knew he really, really effed up. So let me go back here.
For me, Captain America represents a lot of different things, and I don't think the term, America should be one of those representations.
The character is called Captain America. I'm going to let you guys rip on this in a minute. The character is called Captain America. The Captain America character was set in a time where the world was on fire. I mean, it is now, but let's face it, and it still is. But with World War II, with how badly the war was going. And they made up for Captain America as a symbol of hope to get people more behind the war effort, to give them that fortitude with the war effort. That is where the whole thing of Captain America came from. America, meaning all of us. All of us. Even veterans like my grandfather who fought in World War II, a segregated country that didn't love him, but as far as he was concerned, it was his country and it was his privilege to fight for it. So how can you say that on foreign soil? Apparently somebody was asking him, what does Captain America mean to him? What is wrong with the word America? I mean, what is wrong with that?
Well, this was like the other day, right? Okay, so I went to Taco Bell, and Taco Bell can mean a lot of things, but tacos really shouldn't be one of them.
We were ripping on this earlier on Pro Show. But on the international side, to your point, Lorena, one thing I've noticed about living here in Europe is they kind of, it's like a two thing. Yes, on the one hand, we are, in a sense, kind of laughed at and made fun of. But it depends on the issue. It really just depends. Like in Japan, they found it really fascinating how everything is so big. In America, we had Japanese friends that came over to our apartment and they were just going crazy as to how big the washer and dryer were. And all you heard was so big, and they were laughing and carrying on. And it wasn't to be offensive. They were just, there was a lot of enthusiasm, and then here in Europe, there's a little bit of, yeah, there's some weird things going on in America, but they also find it weird if you don't have a sense of pride in your own country, and dissing your own country is also kind of looked at as weird, that it's awkward. Like, why would you do that? Because despite even Germany's, political ups and downs, and grievances with their people, there's still a sense of this is their country and they love their country, you know, despite whatever it is that they're going through. And there is a level, you have to have that delicate balance of, you know, you acknowledge that, you know, my country isn't perfect either, but I am nonetheless uh, proud of where I come from because that's just who I am, you know, and there shouldn't be anything wrong with that. You know, I remember being in a room of military women. One of them was from Russia. She was married to an Air Force officer. Then I had another friend who was German, also married to an Air Force officer. Then there was me, you know, mixed culture here, half Cuban, half American. And we all kind of talked about this topic. And this is years ago. We're talking like 11, 12 years ago when we first got here. And the overall consensus in the room was there's no such thing as a perfect country, you know. But this is where we are from, you know, and there was just this sense of like, yeah, you know, you're from Russia and you're from here from Germany, and I'm from America with having been raised with a lot of Cuban culture aspects. And um, but this thing of just dissing the way he is, like America's so terrible. It doesn't land very well with Europeans. They kind of find it just awkward and weird. Like they question why do you do that? Why are you doing that to yourselves? If you don't like what's going on in your country, then why don't you fix it? You know? Um, I don't hear Germans talk like that about their own country. You know, I don't hear them talk in such a manner where there's this hatred for their culture and this hatred for um their flag. You know, not there be disagreements maybe on policies and their own politics and politicians, but it's very different how they speak about that versus this like hatred for their culture. You know what I mean? And I hope you guys are understanding the difference here, what I'm trying to get
Oh,
at.
Yeah.
I do because I've been to Germany twice, a couple times to visit, and when I did, I actually went to a sci-fi convention over in Germany, and you had a couple of American actors who got on stage, and I swear most of their shtick was talking about just, you know, how you guys in Germany are way cooler than, you know, than the Americans. And it wasn't like the haha funny kind of observation type of stuff that everyone can find humor in. It was really just like, you know, my country sucks compared to yours. And I was the only American that was there in the audience. And I remember being with some friends and they were just like, "You look really upset." I said, "Yes, I am, because you do not talk crap about your own country when you're in another country." And they were like, "Okay, thank you," because we were confused. They were like, we were confused. We're like watching American actors on stage trash their country, and we're looking at you, and you look like you want to go up there and sock them in the face. And I said, yes, that's exactly what, you know, what I felt like. I would get approached whenever, like, I would travel in Europe. Like, I don't get offended, you know, it is what it is. A lot of people would want to know my opinion as, you know, a Black American living in America. What did I think? You know, and I would be honest about it. I said, you know, no country is perfect. The things that I absolutely, you know, that I absolutely love about my country. And, you know, there's cool stuff about your country that I want to know so I can say that I did it and can be the envy of all my friends. But it was a very, very, how would I say it? Very polite conversation. And I like that understanding that it's just like, you don't go around trashing, you know, your country like that. And with a lot of actors, I will notice that they will do that because there aren't Americans to come up and say that they're full of crap. I knew those particular actors, so I basically told them, I'm like, where the heck do you get off doing that? Oh, well, it's just something to do. I said, okay, so great.
No.
So you have all of these people thinking that if you're an American and you're an actor, that you basically hate your own country. How much of a loser are you to do that?
That's
And
not a good thing.
I can say with about 95% confidence that that audience found it very weird that he's the way he talked about Captain America and how America shouldn't be in the name or whatever. I probably got that wrong. But I can tell you that they were probably walking out of that room scratching their heads like, what?
I think
Is
one of them,
he
if
serious?
they would have spoken English, they might have stood up right after he said that and say, "Hey, what kind of a Falcon
But, you know,
statement is that?"
I don't know if he travels a lot. I don't know how much time he spends overseas, you know, and really pays attention to the cultural differences and the way people speak, the translation. You really kind of have to read in between the lines when you're talking to somebody who speaks another language and English is not their first language. Because to your point, Lorena, yeah, you have to read in between the lines. Now, me being bilingual, it comes naturally to me. You know, it comes naturally for me to be in a foreign country and just have an understanding that when someone is talking to me in a thick accent, I have to really simplify in my head, okay, what are they really asking? You know, and like you, I do the same thing. I will repeat the question to them just so I understand what they're asking. If I don't understand, I will politely just ask, you know, I'm sorry, I don't understand what you're asking. And they'll try to rephrase. And then between the two of us, we'll figure out, usually with pretty good success, what they're trying to ask. And then I can answer their question, you know, appropriately. And there's so many ways to handle you know, foreigners or when, you know, or when you're the foreigner. And I'm kind of, I guess I shouldn't be surprised, but you know, you just assume that these people, because they have money, that they travel and they've been to countries that they just kind of, they would know how to behave and handle themselves, but
Nope.
apparently they don't. And I'm a little
Nope.
kind of taken aback by that. But at the same time, they're celebrities, you know, so they're kind of in a different, um, they're just in a different class of people, and it seems like there's just certain manners and etiquettes that just don't seem to exist in that Hollywood culture.
And
Um, and
that's what
I
you
find that weird.
it is for your garden variety folks. We know, especially if you're American, that when you're being asked something in a foreign country, 9 times out of 10, there's some motivation around that. Like you're saying, it's just like, what is the context of what it is
Right.
that they're asking? And to be fair, I've been to the UK and I've had to ask for clarifying questions. It's like, what the heck is it? You're speaking English. I know you're speaking English, but dang it,
Yeah,
I
that
don't know what
dialect
it
can
is.
be crazy.
what I'm saying. I don't know.
That's what you're talking about. I mean, the thing is, I can understand the Scots way more than I can understand the Irish. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. It's just one of those things. But your regular garden variety person knows not to do that. But
Look,
Anthony Mackie does it.
Here's how I would compare it. You know, we have a lot of Venezuelans, Colombians, a lot of people from South America here in Orlando. Now, some of them, I mean, they left their country to come here because of the opportunity that we have here that they don't have there. However, their country's culture, not their country's current government or situation, but their country's culture, they're very proud of. They hang the Venezuelan flag from their car mirror. They're, you know, they indicate all the time. You know, my wife, very, very proud Venezuelan. Because it's not about the government, the current situation, or anything like that. It's about your cultural heritage, right? So
Right.
if you're born in America, your cultural heritage at least partly is American. Like most Americans also have a cultural heritage that goes, before the United States, before wherever our ancestors came from. Mine's German, Irish, French, and I have some Native American as well. But you don't diss most people are taught, even as growing up, you take pride in the culture that you come from, because every single culture has good things about it, and that's what you think of when you think of a culture. So when I think of an American idea, I think of liberation. Like first and foremost, when I think of what the most American ideal is, liberty, right? That's what we were founded on: liberty, freedom of speech, freedom to protect ourselves with, and arm ourselves, those types of freedoms. And with that then comes dignity, pride, respect, all of those things. To me, that's, Captain America. Captain America are those ideals that maybe Superman would have called truth, justice, and the American way. It's there's justice in it. There's freedom. I thought that the first two, especially the second Captain America movie, Captain America Winter Soldier, which Anthony Mackie did a fantastic job as Falcon in, really dealt with the idea of who Captain America was, what he represents, and what he struggled with as Captain America. He never struggled with the idea of representing America. What he did struggle with was the power structure above him, and like what was his thing? He said, "Do you want to go to Germany and do you want to kill the bad people over there?" He goes, "I don't want to kill anybody. I just don't like bullies." All right. So think about that as being the absolute American ideal: is that no other country should bully us around. And it shouldn't be. It should be the same for everywhere. Like that's the American ideal. That's where, to me, I just think that he went so wrong in this statement, is because whatever's going on in his head, maybe it's the timing of it, even though this movie was made over the last 4 years, or maybe he's thinking about how bad things have been over the last 4 years. I don't know. I can't really judge that because I'm not in his head. But whatever it is, that the political situation has nothing to do with the culture of America being about liberty, freedom, love, brother taking care of brother, sister taking care of sister, everybody taking care of each other. Those American ideals. So if he thinks that that's not American ideals, why is he even doing the role? It just I don't know. It's the very way he put the statement is incredibly bothersome. And I think, like you said, he may have kind of caught himself and kind of realized, wait, did I just say what I think I said? I don't see this being fixed with Marvel and audiences unless some type of an apology, a statement is issued. It could be a simple apology saying, you know what, when I said that, I kind of misspoke. It wasn't really what I meant or whatever. But this is not, I don't think it's going to go down well with audiences.
I don't. And I'm actually going to play the rest of it in a minute. But let's just say when he said that, I'm thinking of all the ancestors that I have who have shed blood and treasure for this country called America on so many levels, even including the distant cousins of mine who signed the Declaration of Independence and basically signed their own death warrant because they committed treason against King George III. You have, like John Adams, John Quincy Adams, Sam Adams. They are all distant relatives of mine, thanks to the Aldens on the Mayflower. All of the people who fought for this country before it even was a country, and their allegiance was to another flag, aka Spain, aka France. It's such a slap in the face when they hear this. But let's hear some more, because you'll realize the exact moment he knew he effed up. There you go. And you see exactly what he did to try to dig himself out of the hole.
Term, America should be one of those representations. Like, it's about a man who keeps his word, who has honor, dignity, and integrity. Someone who is trustworthy and dependable. It's kind of, this is kind of like an aspect of a dream coming true. When I was a kid, all of us as actors, I believe, want to get back to that day before someone told you.
This is the I'm gonna pee on your leg and tell you it's raining. This is the part right here.
No. When you look out your door and you see a 5-year-old kid with a stick and he's slaying dragons to save the princess in the tower, that kid really believes there are dragons out there. That stick is really a sword and he's really trying to save that princess. And then one day somebody told him, no, there are no dragons. That's not a sword. And that princess is not there. And all of his little dreams were dashed. So, as an actor, I feel like our job is to get back to the day where we see that dragon and we slay that dragon to save that princess. And that's kind of what this movie was for me.
Have you ever had
I have a hard time following him on that, in terms of his whole point. And then more specifically with the whole busting a child's dreams. I had said this earlier on Pro Show. Playing pretend is alive and well with kids.
Mm-hmm.
That hasn't changed. I don't care if you're putting them in front of screens or not. They still play pretend. And I think, was it Ron, where you were on Pro Show earlier? And I think you were the one that had brought up, kids know playing pretend.
Kids do not. If your kid actually believes there's a dragon, you need to take the kid to get some serious help, because I know that kid knows he is playing with a make-believe dragon. There is no point in time in my life when I thought, and by the way, this goes double if your kid happens to be with the neighbor's kid and they're playing doctor. Yeah, just saying, you do not, you don't want that. That's make believe, people. No, there's certain things that, like, there's no point in time when an adult comes along to a kid and says, there's no dragons there. And the kid goes, there's not a real dragon. All my dreams are dashed. My hopes and my whole life just got destroyed. Just like, oh my gosh, it just doesn't make any sense. You can tell that even he doesn't know what he's talking about. He's vamping and he's like, he's
kind of derailing from whatever question he had been asked. You can tell. And then another thing is, even if a kid believes, okay, let's take Superman as an example here. Actually, Raph and I saved a kid who almost fell to his death here. He, honest to God, thought he could fly. We were on the second level of the mall here, which is our BX. And this kid saw his dad with his siblings downstairs, way across the way. And he literally climbed the railing, got his body half over the railing, thinking he could just fly and soar to them. And me and Raph, literally without hesitation, I mean, we went into like mom and dad mode, because his mom was way on the other side on the top floor, but she couldn't get to him fast enough.
Mm-hmm.
And the kid wasn't thinking. He just thought he could fly like Superman. And he had tunnel vision. I just want to be with my dad and my siblings, and they're down there and I'm up here, and I'm just going to go, and we literally jumped, and he was right next to us. I mean, we were sitting at a table eating, and Raph just like grabbed him. And I went into and I didn't mean to. I am not one to scold a child, especially when they're not my child. But I just out of knee-jerk reaction looked at
Mm-hmm.
that kid and I said, "What were you thinking? You would have died. You can't fly. Humans do not fly. We do not have wings." And his mom, he started crying when I got
Mm-hmm.
onto him. But I mean, I'm a complete stranger. I scared the shit out of this kid. And he went, ran to his mom crying, and she backed me up. She was like, "Well, what were you thinking?" Like, she
Yeah.
wasn't wrong, you know? So you have to be a parent and an adult at some point, even when your kids are playing pretend, and you kind of have to bring them down a notch because there are instances where some kids really do believe
Mm-hmm.
in their make believe minds that things are real, and you as a parent have to remind them, no, it's not real,
Or
for their
even
own
if you're
safety.
right. And even if you're like the oldest sibling, because my sister thought she was Wonder Woman, and I told her not to jump off of the washing machine, and she did, and she wound up breaking her arm. But
Hey, I used to
just
play
put
as
that
Wonder
story.
Woman when I was a kid.
Oh my gosh.
I loved Wonder Woman's powers, man. She could make people tell the truth. That's a great power. I
Really?
don't
Did you have
care.
a rope?
We had this game. We'd play superhero in gym class. And sometimes I picked the Flash or Superman or Batman or whatever, but I also played, Wonder Woman or the Hulk, but as a kid, when I'm watching different superheroes on television, I grew up in the 70s. So at that time, there were the shows on TV that I could watch were the old George Reeves Superman, Batman and Robin. And then at the current time was playing Wonder Woman. I could see Shazam on Saturday mornings. The Hulk, the Incredible Hulk, Spider-Man, the weird TV Spider-Man show. Those were all on when I was a kid. So they really tried to do a lot with superheroes at that point in time. And that was I was like 7, 8, 9 years old, and we played superhero in the gym. And I can tell you that as fun as that was, there was no point in time when I believed that I could actually fly. I really wanted to. Now I can tell you what it inspired me to do. What it inspired me to do is later on in life, go skydiving, which I've done. Okay, it's very, very cool. I learned how to pilot a plane. I flew my solo flight when I was 16 years old. In gym class, I grew up in that time when we had the ropes, and I got my tip topper ribbon every single year for climbing the rope all the way to the top because I wanted to be strong like a superhero. And I had a really, really cool gym teacher. His name was Ron Edwards. And Mr. Edwards was awesome. He did this thing where if we could do 10 handstand push-ups against a wall, he would buy us a Coke. So we'd we'd go upside down. And I worked on that. And I think by 5th and 6th grade, I was able to get myself a Coke anytime he asked us to do that, because I'd go right up against the wall and do my handstand push-ups, which is funny because I was not really athletic from 7th grade on. I was never involved in sports or anything. But it was never about that. It was about the playing I would never have my hopes or dreams dashed because an adult said that's not real. But I can tell you that playing definitely inspired me to do things. And maybe that little kid with the stick, to his point that I think he was trying to make, is that the little kid with the stick may have grown up, wanted to become an actor, and ended up in Game of Thrones, where he could actually fight a dragon with the sword, right? And I think that's the point he was trying to make in a very bad, convoluted way. But the point that I think he ended up making is that I'm just an actor and get millions and millions of dollars to play pretend for a living.
Well, I'm going to tell you what I think, in my opinion, and $2 won't get you a cup of coffee at Starbucks. have you ever been at a family gathering and that one relative who should really keep their mouth shut decides not to? It says something to the
Probably
fact
me.
of, well, you know what? Your wife's a hoe. What? Yeah. Your wife's a hoe. And I heard the kid is probably not even yours. What? Well, you know how sometimes you kind of feel like you don't fit in and you think that your parents probably aren't your parents because you're so different from your siblings. And remember that time when I did that thing and this happened and all of that? That's all I'm saying. They just kind of feel like that. So, that's probably why you don't think your mom, is your mom.
Yeah.
And it's just like, wait, what? What did you just insult my wife? Like, no, that's not what I was saying. No, that's not what I'm saying at all. And he already knew because Mima looked at him. It was just like, you effed up, right? You effed up. That is exactly what happened here. And looking at body language, being in a foreign country, and I've seen some of these actors who will do that. It was a very straightforward question. He could have just said, Captain America, it means to me the best in all of us. Like, whatever it was, Steve Rogers saw the best in America in, Sam Wilson, and that's what he went with. But he didn't go that way. He didn't go with that and just went on to pretty much insult Americans. And here's what I think. If this was the first time he slipped up like that, I think people would have given him a lot of latitude. But over what we've heard from him, a lot of people are like, I've hit that point. And me even hearing this, I'm just like, that is one of the dumbest things that you could say. Do you not realize you're in a foreign country? Do you not realize that at this point in time, people will look for a soundbite, whether they get it or not? The fact is, the opportunity is there. So now people are replaying that over and over again. And for whatever reason, especially given how Disney is with marketing their movies and how they pretty much trashed the MCU and why they've foisted onto us Captain America 2.0 and Latin Falcon.
By the way,
yes,
just real quick, I could fix the entire marketing campaign for this movie and get people to come out and see it. I could do it. Want to know how? I'm guessing
free Marvel Rivals swag.
Yeah, that'll do it too.
Because they are doing that.
I would, I would have just a flash scene of, like where you see the shield, right? That Falcon has gotten from Steve Rogers. Now that is a very different looking shield than Steve Rogers' shield. So I don't know how many people have picked up on that, but
he couldn't throw Steve Rogers' shield. He throws like a freaking girl.
Right. But here's my point. This is how you save the movie. It's a marketing clip where you see the close up of just the shield, and then you see somebody's hands who are actually clearly Steve Rogers' hands grabbing the shield and saying, and then you hear Chris Evans' voice saying, "Thanks, I appreciate you making that for me." And that's it. And then there's that teaser of we're going to find out where this shield actually came from, because that would make me go see the movie. I want to know.
Oh my gosh.
Free ticket with time.
Man. That's funny. That's funny. Does he have zero media training personnel? Well, you know what? There was a time when PR would handle these people. Like, shut up. They would have people prep them like, look, you're over here on foreign soil, okay? You need to keep in mind what people are asking. If you don't understand the question, say, can you repeat the question or something like that? So you don't wind up stepping, in a trap. But with this age of social media, they don't want to do that anymore. And they want to let these people out there to sync their movies. Case in point, like Rachel Zegler, okay? And that's what happens. But apparently, Mr. Mackie has clarified his previous
I did not know
his previous comment about what
Oh, wait,
Captain
is
America
this the thing that I
Do
said
not
would need to
make this
happen?
up.
In other words, I didn't mean to call your mama a hoe. I respect all women, you know. I do. I respect my mom. I just, you know, I love women. I have all these causes that I help. This is pretty much it. With Meemaw looking at him like, boy, you better fix this. Fix this. That's what this is. So here's what he says. Let me be clear about this. Usually when you hear the term "let me be clear," that means they effed up in the first place. How many times have
exactly
you
what
heard?
it means.
Yes,
I would
that's
like to tell
exactly
you,
what it means.
people.
I'm a proud American, and taking on the shield of a hero like Cap is the honor of a lifetime. I have the utmost respect for those who serve and have served our country. Okay, well, we weren't really talking about the military per se. It's nice that you said that. And I think that was just to get you some brownie points.
Yeah, I
Okay.
was gonna say that because kind of out of context for him. Like nothing was nothing was raised about military and military families, but okay.
It's like, all right, you know, that's like being on stage at Showtime at the Apollo and you're singing and your song sucks and you're getting booed and you're about to get Sandman to push you off stage and then you start singing gospel instead and people know they don't want to cheer against Jesus. So so they kind of give you a stay of execution. That's it. He's singing the gospel song in the middle of this, so he doesn't get broomed off stage by Sandman. Last thing, Cap has universal characteristics that people all over the world can relate to. Well, we don't care about the freaking world right now. The person you really need to apologize and apologize sincerely to are the Americans that you pretty much spat in the face with what you said. I mean,
I'm trying to find out what
value. It's just like, okay, if this is what you want to apologize and say, this is what you want to apologize and say. But
on what platform did he say that?
I believe he said that on Instagram because I do not believe that he is on X because it was posted on Instagram.
Okay.
Because I went to the Instagram page to look that up because I'm like, is this a real thing?
Okay, yeah, there it is. It's on Instagram. All right. I was just double checking because I'm like,
yeah, they usually like to hang out on Instagram for some reason. They do not like to they don't like to step on X for the most part.
What's interesting is that again, this like Zegler did when she issued the apology that she clearly didn't write herself.
Wait a minute. It's in oh shoot. It's in the Hollywood Reporter now. Now yeah, Disney got to him. Said, you done effed up, A-Rod.
Right. So that's what I mean. But he not once did he actually clarify the statement of saying, but Captain America is not about America. That's what doesn't make any sense. It's, that would be like, again, going, I probably go to Taco Bell and order once a week. Granted, I'm getting the chalupa when I go, and not the taco. And that's really what I meant, is that their chalupas are awesome too. No, that's not.
They put their foot in their mouths to the point where I think the humiliation is just so great. They can't even apologize. They're just and how do you apologize? And so they just kind of like backtrack in a way, and it just makes it worse.
Mm-hmm.
You know, someone had made the observation earlier. I forgot who it was, but it was on Pro Show that just the way he was saying that, the timing, like the political climate that we're in, it kind of
Was
sounded
Marvin.
like he was, I guess, like implying, that America's, I guess, not good right now. And it was just an observation, or but at the same time, it's not that hard to save face on this when, because he was in a foreign country. He could have just said, I didn't understand the question. I should have asked, and I misspoke. That could have been a lot better than
Mm-hmm.
what he put out there, because that just sounds even worse.
This just sounds like some BS. What it sounds like is you don't want to piss off the majority of the other actors and the folks who give you jobs in Hollywood that are very, very left leaning. They hate the fact that Trump is in office, and you do not want to piss off those people. So rather than piss those people off, you would rather piss off us regular Americans who you expect for us to come and see your stuff. You saying this is okay. You know what? You need to put something out there that kind of says, okay, apology, non-apology, but hey, for the rest of y'all in Hollywood, I meant what I said. And I meant exactly what I said.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. This is not an apology at all. An apology doesn't start with, let me be clear. An apology is, America, I'm sorry, I let you down. Captain America would never do that.
I want to see see you and him get together. And when I say him, I actually don't mean Anthony Mackie. I mean his character, because you're both Creole, according to Falcon and Winter Soldier. You're both got that New Orleans boat you got to sell.
I would question his pedigree.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because
we Creoles are real snobs. There's a reason why the French Creoles and the French Acadians did not socially mix, because the French Creoles thought that the Acadians were freaking French rednecks. They were embarrassed. That's why they lived all the way out there, and bayou. Cajuns lived out in the bayou. The Creoles, it's a very it's snobby as hell. You have to be able to rattle off your family line. Literally, you have to be able to rattle it off like that, because it's such a not super exclusive community, but it's a very class-like. It's a pedigree.
Can I also say something about this movie that is really, really, I think it's the most obvious thing that we know that this movie is going to tank, and that is the lack of excitement around the Red Hulk. No, people don't care anymore. I don't care anymore. I cared about the Red Hulk.
I don't care, because Mark Ruffalo has ruined the Hulk for me.
Well, it's not even that. It's that the character was introduced in Iron Man 2, I want to say. Was it 2 or 1?
Red Hulk?
Yeah, the general. Because Harrison Ford is playing the same character as the guy that passed on, the actor that passed on.
Oh, yeah. They can recast him, but not shallow.
That's who was supposed to become the Red Hulk, and they planted the seeds of that in the first Hulk movie. He's like, I've got the super soldier serum, I'm working on it. Then they ended up creating the abomination out of that serum, which is a version of that serum created the Red Hulk. But now it's like, okay, you built up anticipation for a while that the Red Hulk was going to come, but he never came with the actor that was supposed to have portrayed him. And now you're turning Harrison Ford into the Red Hulk as the president of the United States, which is extremely convoluted and problematic. Because the moment the president of the United States becomes the Red Hulk, 14th Amendment is enacted. That literally Congress says, well, he ain't president anymore. That's it. Done there. And it's a huge, whoever wrote this, this has got to be some really, really bad writing. And William Hurt. Yeah. Thank you, Tina. I appreciate that. Mm-hmm. William Hurt. Yes. William Hurt. And he was doing a fantastic job in the role, by the way. And it's unfortunate his situation is passing.
Got to leave him. Yeah. I mean, sorry, lose him.
Yeah, it's that's heartbreaking, but then also and there's nothing wrong with passing on the Red Hulk to a different actor, but it's just that you've lost that anticipation factor. And I just don't think people care too much anymore. And also, the second thing about it is when we see, like you have pointed out, Lorena, the fight between Red Hulk and a powerless Falcon / Captain America. He doesn't have superpowers. He doesn't have super strength. He is an ant compared to this Red Hulk. He would have been crushed to death in a moment of that one hit that we've seen in the previews. Squished, gone, dead, kaput. The whole thing is just like, so what the reason I'm bringing it up is, even though he's clearly trying to somewhat apologize for this, he already added insult to injury of this being a pretty poor film. That I don't think is going to be well received by the public. And then it's going to be followed up by Snow White. And then it's going to be followed up by the Thunderbolts. Mm-hmm. And then it's going to be followed up, apparently at the end of July, by a Fantastic Four that has nothing to do with the MCU whatsoever.
And here's the thing, because I was looking at who the lineup of writers are. And of course, one of the writers of Captain America and Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which was an ass of a show. The writers that they have on this film, I want to say, are not well known. They're just really not. And with all the writing problems that they've been having, there's so many things that's going to go on with this film. And I know you're right. It's like with the planning of how they did that, and they lost William Hurt, and rather than saying, okay, you know what, we need to regroup and figure out what we're going to do with this movie. But this movie, Captain America, Brave New World, was basically written to have Sam Wilson take over the mantle of Captain America, even though he does not have the super serum. So we know, doesn't have the super serum, can't throw the freaking shield. We all know Bucky should have gotten that shield, not Sam Wilson. But you want to do this? That's it. Like, I said, no, he throws like a freaking girl. I'm like, I don't care. Can't cancel me for it. See you try. But it's an insult to the fans. It's an insult to the character, because we want to. Sam Wilson is badass as Falcon. That's what we wanted to see. But you didn't want to give us that because somebody decided to be outraged on behalf of people who didn't even ask. Like, no, hey, Captain America needs to be a black man.
Let me tell you, the scene that we will never get, an equivalent scene with Anthony Mackie as Captain America, and that is Steve Rogers holding back a helicopter without a costume on, with a gray t-shirt, with his bicep bulging, which he, by the way, actually ripped in real life while he was doing it. So kudos to Chris Evans for doing that. And he's probably further left than Mackie is in real life. But we can't get a scene like that because Falcon doesn't have those powers. He didn't take this. He doesn't have super strength. Mm-hmm. And if that happened, it would be fun because it would rip his arm off, and that's what we would see.
Tina BB says, I'm going to need so much popcorn when I kick back to enjoy the YouTube videos of these catastrophes. Yes, I will be seeing this film.
Yeah.
It's part of my job. I will give you an objective review, but let's be honest, there's some things that I can say that some people are not comfortable with having to say, or they feel like if they say it, they're going to get painted as, they're going to get painted as racist. Because let's be honest, if Ron critiques the film and says the film is crap, which it more than likely is, they'll call him an islamophobe, and you don't understand because you're a white male or or whatever. Okay, I critique the film. They would do one of two things: ignore me, which that's happened a lot before, or basically call me self-hating. But you're not going to be able to call me racist. Not gonna happen. But at the same time, there's also some cultural context to kick into this, which is why Disney does these things. They think they're quote unquote helping. They're not helping at all. And here's the thing: they don't care. That's why it's diversity in name only. Which is why they are hanging on to DEI. But I will say this, the last thing before we end the show. DEI and the federal government, that's what's been EO'd and yeeted out into the air a lot. As a private business, you are entitled to do what you want. If you decide that you want to load up your company with DEI initiatives, you go ahead and do it. But do not be surprised when employees leave. Do not be surprised when consumers reject your product, soundly reject your product. And you still stick with doing that with respect to DEI. So y'all can go out there and do that. But don't be upset when consumers vote with their dollars. Don't be upset when shareholders revolt at meetings and do stuff like, proxy battle. We've seen one of those before, right? Right? We've seen that. So keep that in mind. The law of economics is no respecter of persons. So if there's some company where it's like, hey, we're going to put DEI out there, what people seem to keep will be, buying our products or whatever. Then okay, fine. But that's something to keep in mind. And that's exactly it. They're not exempt from the consequences of that at all. So if these companies want to pimp DEI, let them. Focus on what is in your power to do, whether it's not support them financially, whether it's you show up at a shareholders meeting like, okay, what's the heck is going on with this? Get other like-minded shareholders, because what we're going to start seeing, and you can pretty much guess how this is going to end. You're going to have the companies, including media companies, who are just like, look, this DEI thing isn't working. And the ones who were going to hold on to it and go down swinging, like Ben and Jerry's and the crappy, overpriced ice cream. I can't believe people still buy that stuff.
After what I don't know if you saw the most recent thing that they put out.
I did. And
I will, for years, I'm a pretty forgiving person. And most of the time that stuff, I'm like, I get it. I don't really care. I like their ice cream. That's all that matters. I will never buy their ice cream again. I will never buy their ice cream because of how hard they went on stuff that is supporting immorality. It's supporting the wrong over the right. And it's supporting the kind of things that get people in trouble with human trafficking, drug trafficking, all those types of things. The causes that they support, okay, land people in pain eventually. Maybe not immediately, but eventually. That's what I have a problem with. I cannot support a company that I know is going to create pain for people. And I'm not talking the pain of being overweight from eating the stupid ice cream. That's part of it, but I would get that myself. But I'm talking about the pain down the road of supporting these causes that are hurtful causes to humanity and society, not helpful, not in any way, shape, or form.
I have not supported Ben and Jerry's since they came out swinging for supporting BLM. That's when I stopped doing that. And I had already started peeling back when, they were all anti-Israel. I'm just like, y'all are freaking ridiculous. But with that whole BLM thing, yeah, they went all in. And remember, this is the crux of how this whole DEI thing got started. Okay. You had affirmative action back in the day, but that was right on the heels of the civil rights movement. Just because ideally you are supposed to pick the right person for the job. Let's just face it. Some people are human beings and they're like, you're the best person for the job, but I don't like you. So I have the influence not to hire you. That does happen. That's out there. But this whole DEI thing happened to basically tell BLM, don't burn down our ish. That is it in a nutshell. And then other groups co-opted it, like the Skittles crew and the TT crew. I have to kind of speak in code a little bit here. Jumped onto that whole thing, and that's what happened. So the pendulum is swinging the other way. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens, especially the companies who were smart enough to stay out of this nonsense in the first place. And speaking of that, if you haven't seen The Wild Robot, it's on Peacock. I'm so mad I didn't see that in theaters. I'm so mad I didn't see that. That movie, first of all, the guy, I think Chris Sanders, he did Lilo and Stitch. It is so good. If you haven't watched it, go and watch The Wild Robot. It is, oh my gosh, it's so funny, and yet it's heartfelt at the same time. A great family film. It's like WALL-E without the environmental in it. So instead of the whole environmental stuff, it's basically a robot who goes outside of their programming because their task is to help this like geese who's like the run of the litter survive so he can migrate. It's so cool. So you
Speaking of which, I gotta watch Migration too. I've heard that one was really good.
Oh God, yes.
Migration. Oh my, I've seen like 3 times. I love that movie.
It is the freaking best.
Not landing. Everybody does it. In the end.
That was so darn funny. And remember who got you that sandwich. Little stuff like that. I mean, yeah. So you got to watch Migration. Definitely watch a Wild Robot. The Wild Robot is up for an Oscar. It might lose to that darn French movie about the black cat, but I'm hoping that
my son wants me to take him to Dog Man, which I think is this Friday.
Yeah, there's a Dog Man meet and greet out at in DreamWorks Land.
Oh, that's cool.
At Universal. Yeah, they brought out Dog Man, but yeah, they got the whole thing up there. It looks to be okay. It's by the same dude who did Captain Underpants.
Yeah, that's one of my son's favorites too.
And Diary of a Wimpy Kid. The first movie was funny.
Oh, that was good.
The first movie was funny. The rest of it, not really. But the first one, oh my gosh, I laughed my ass off. Yeah, The Wild Robot is excellent. It really is. It's like that's where reminds me of old school Pixar movies, old school Disney movies, especially with some of the animals pretending to be dead. They were possums. Okay.
That's
They were
even better.
they were
They're
possums.
playing possum.
Yes. You're supposed to be dead. Again, go see the
I
movie. If
gotta see
you
this movie
are
now.
Mediano Mafia level or higher, we all watched A Wild Robot on Sunday afternoon. So check the community tab on my YouTube page, and you can watch the replay of it. We all watched it together. So if you're Mediano Mafia, we watch 2 movies a month instead of one that we do with pretty much everybody. But speaking of everybody, thank you all for being here. We have had we have like 163 people watching between X and between YouTube. So thank you so very much for watching us. Sure as heck do appreciate it. Let's see. Let's shout out our channels and where they can find us. Ooh, what's that? I see Okinawa. Ooh.
Okinawa.
I have a Starbucks mug, but mine is I got it from the Starbucks in Westminster, and it's got William Shakespeare on it, and it says England. It's one of my favorite mugs. Yes.
Wow.
One of my favorite mugs. Every time Camera Girl uses it, I'm just like, you better not break that mug. I bought that mug down the street from the Queen's house. Well, Erica, what you got going on, and where can people find you?
We really don't have a whole lot going on. Basically, right at the moment, you can find me here or on T3PO on Thursdays, on your Resort Recon on Saturdays, and show usually on Tuesdays. So I'm just kind of bouncing around, and I'm kind of being really lazy with the channel. Yeah, we're going through a dry spell.
It happens.
For real.
Trust me. It
I'm
happens.
I'm also distracted learning how to create these avatars for it's like an animation type thing. I'm way over my head, but I'm so fascinated with it. I'm like determined to learn how to do it, even if it takes me 6 months, I feel.
VTuber thing.
Yeah, the VTuber, I'm just fascinated with. I think it looks like fun. So, I had considered starting another channel with a VTuber with our dog who passed away, Sophie. She was a Yorkie, and she was so freaking cute. She was like the prettiest, most prissy Yorkie you'd ever meet. I thought it would be kind of cute if I could somehow cartoonize her. And I don't know, just to play with, just you never know.
Well, that'll be cute. And folks, you gotta subscribe to Erica's channel. She's got great stuff out there. I highly suggest watching her all her videos for Halloween. Yeah, start with those.
Yeah, the Halloween. You can tell. I mean, look at my backdrop. Halloween is the big holiday in this family.
Start with those. Ron, what do you have coming up, and where can people find you?
Well, I'm going to be reading Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. The little.
I think I have that book.
You have that?
Is that the little golden book?
It's like a little golden book. It's the whole series. I've got the whole.
Yeah, it was a box set, wasn't it?
Yeah, box set of these.
I've got some.
Pinocchio. The Little Mermaid that was white back in the day. The Lion King before Mufasa mattered. And this is my favorite one of all of them. That's Daredevil Born Again. This is actual Born Again, the real Born Again. So yeah. No, I'm just kidding. I will Tuesdays are so long for me. I start my day on Tuesday at 9:30 in the morning with my daily dish show, and I end up here after pro. Sometimes I've done I've done this and that Park Place in Pro and T3PO and this all in the same day. Like, oh my gosh, it's crazy.
Crazy.
So
too.
9:30 a.m. every morning we do the daily dish. And we had someone in the chat today that I'm hoping will be on as a guest at some point in time. She's a former Miss America. I'd love for her to weigh in. She's a friend of mine. She was Miss America 1987. And I would love for her to weigh in on Captain America. Say, like, would a Miss America ever say, well, I'm Miss America, but we don't really like consider America as part of that. Yeah, no. Anyway, so that's the daily dish every day at 9:30. Sometimes I do that in the park as a live stream from the park, and sometimes I go live in the parks at other times, depending on what's going on in the day. And other than that, there are vlogs. I still haven't finished what's supposed to be a really long informational vlog about Festival of the Arts. I've started it, and I really love the beginning, how it starts, and I'm like, now I got to edit in all the informational stuff, and it's kind of hard. But yeah, Mufasa Lives Matter. Thanks, Arlene. But yeah, that's what I got going on. So you can see me on my channel. You can see me on my wife's channel or channels. She's got Virginia Bradley Adventures or Virginia Bradley Magical Adventures on Lorena's channel. I've been on Culture's channel, sometimes on WDW Pro. And if I can weasel my way into other channels, I will. If I can weasel my way into Mr. H or Drunk 3PO or Geeks and Gamers, I'll do that. I'm excited because we've got MegaCon coming up, and I think that you're going to some MegaCon stuff, and I finally got my ticket for all 4 days. Just haven't figured out how I'm going to get out there because I don't want to pay $50 a day to park. So you and I can talk.
You can pay 20.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll see. What
Yeah,
I was gonna skydive in and see if I could just drop in from a plane.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, some of the or 65. I can just park at Stella Nova for the day for $65, no problem.
$65 and just walk down the street. It's nuts. It's nuts. But yeah, looking forward to MegaCon. Lots of folks from that Park Place are going to be in town for MegaCon. So as for your girl, I always have to say, what day is it? Well, last night I was out at the Magic Kingdom. We got to ride the Liberty Bell, Rivers of America. I'm going to be doing a lot of vlogging and also live streaming from that area because you need to figure out what it is that we're going to lose. So was out there last night, and you probably heard me sniping at cast members yet again, being very discourteous towards guests, yelling at them about the bridges closed. And as soon as something flew out of my mouth, I said, how come you don't have it roped off? A very pissed off guest next to me said, why don't you have it roped off or something instead of yelling at everybody?
Ouch.
Wait till I get that survey, Disney.
I saw something in your stream, and I was wondering, when did they bring the game Crane Command to the Magic?
Crane Command? What?
Crane, Kaiju Crane. Yes. So if you go, just you know how you like to, you're walking in the Magic Kingdom, you're walking down, Main Street, USA, and it's like, hey, I'm gonna make a left, and I'm gonna go to Liberty Square. And you know how they have the lovely arch and everything that's there. You look up and what do you see?
A flying dumpster.
Big ass crane.
With a flying dumpster.
Yes, you can see this big, huge, ugly freaking crane hanging over the Liberty Bell.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, the construction crane. It is huge. I can't even tell you or put into words how big it is, except that it's Godzilla big.
They should be using it to dump cheese on the
optics,
broccoli.
making it look like they're moving dirt.
Yeah,
And
it's
it's
just
just
hanging
sitting
there
there.
like I'm just a crane. Yeah, I'm only a crane.
I'm just a crane. Yeah, I'm only a crane. Sitting
That's
here
pretty much all it is that
raking
it's
my
gonna do.
brain.
Yeah, now. You're welcome, Arlene. That's something I don't want people to forget. So I'm gonna be on the Liberty Bell. I am going to be vlogging the Liberty Bell because there's so many other touches and features. And like I said, since my background is Creole, ships like the Liberty Bell on the Mississippi was a regular thing. That whole lifestyle. Mark Twain wrote about that lifestyle. So all of that's there. And like I said, I'm going to get some footage of the Liberty Bell and I'm going to send it to Ike and Tina Turner singing Proud Mary. You listen to the words of the song. It'll make sense to you. So, folks, please, please, please do subscribe to Erica, subscribe to Ron. As for me, tomorrow at 12 noon, I'm going to be playing some Disney Dreamlight Valley live, and then I can let you guys know why I'm so freaking fed up with that game. Friday, I will be live from SeaWorld because the Seven Seas Food Festival kicks off. And you know how we do. We go to all of the stands. This is the first time I've been to the food festival, Seven Seas Food Festival. I've heard such good things about it. So we're going to go there that day and check it out. And if things go right and I get my editing done, a video should drop either Friday morning or a Thursday night. The tribute store for Mardi Gras Tribute Store is open to pass holders on the 30th. So I'm going to go and check it out. They have got this new shoulder plush, which is the King Gator shoulder plush, which looks so freaking cool. So we're going to go ahead and check out all of that stuff. As always, folks, thank you guys so very much for being here. We so appreciate you spending time with us. Please do, again, subscribe, everybody. Thumbs up on this video. And of course, we will see you all next time. Bye.
All right, everyone. Let's tidy things up.
Autobots, start your engines!
Not under the rug.
We'll keep singing without fail, otherwise we'd spoil it.
Ready, Prime? Let's roll.
Hosing down the garbage pail and scrubbing up the toilet. Ooh.
That's all, folks.
You're still here. It's over. Go home.